Okay, so I'm just gonna make a video because I'm having a hard time with my fibromyalgia and my nerve pain. Everything's just flared up super bad. So now that my mom found out yesterday, I can post on Facebook. I got my vaccine last Wednesday. Today's Thursday this week, so it's been a little over a week. And I've been really sick from it. Like, I've just been laid out. It really fucked up my fibromyalgia. Even my chiropractor just was noticing how much different my muscles were because of the vaccine. I'm not having the muscle pain so much, like in my arm just a little bit, but it's not bad. It's definitely a lot better than it was. I'm just really fatigued and I'm having a lot of nerve pain, and right now all night I had nerve pain in my bottom teeth and it felt like all of my teeth needed root canals. And then sometimes it'll fire up in the top teeth, and I am a little bit afraid that my Bell's palsy is going to relapse because I've been having some of the same pains that I had right before the Bell's palsy happened, and some of the nerve headache part is coming back from when it first happened. So cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm not going to stress about it. If I relapse, I relapse. I would like to point out I'm almost completely back to normal too. I just a little bit more paralysis here, and I have the synkinesis or whatever the hell it's called, where my eye moves, it closes when I move, whatever. I was told by my neurologist not to get the vaccine, and I didn't want to get it because a side effect is Bell's palsy, and if you weren't with me when it happened and you didn't watch me go through it, you just wouldn't understand what had happened to me, and that I had got the worst case possible. And I don't even want to talk about it. I could make another video sometime and talk about it then, but the pain was the worst pain I'd ever felt in my life, and I've been through some shit, and it was 14 days straight of just rolling nerve headaches, and so I'm definitely a little bit concerned, but I'm not going to stress. I didn't want the vaccine because it hasn't been out long enough to see how it's really, really going to interact with both of my diseases and what happens. So why did I get it? Why, Erica? Why were you so against it? Why did you do it? I went to my son's orientation on a Monday. On Monday. And nobody was wearing masks. There was like 3 of us. And there was no social distancing. People were just running. Like, I swear to God, the only thing I could think of was like in a desert and just this herd of animals just running to water, just stampede. And I was literally like, I was cussing and like going into the building. I was like, why the fuck is nobody wearing a mask? Like, what the fuck is going on? I did not get the email that said that masks are optional this year. There's been an updated email, and I'll get to that in a second. That's just a fucking gem. So I was like, I have 2 autoimmune diseases. I cannot be in this building. I went in. I was freaking out. I was convulsively shaking. I almost dropped my phone. Nick was like steadying my hand. He's like, Mom, you gotta breathe. Because that school has just caused so much fucking trauma to me that I had panic attacks just driving to that fucking place or driving past it. And then nobody's protected. And I did not know. I was blindsided so hard. And I went into the office. They had school supplies for Nick. So I had to grab that backpack. And I was like, well, we were going to meet his teacher. He's special needs. Like, I want him to meet his teacher, you know. And he didn't get to because I couldn't stay. And he didn't want to stay. I can't e-learn him. he's got to be in school with a IEP and a special needs teacher. There's no way around that. I'm not built for that. I tried. I'm not built. I tried twice. And the principal saw that I was crying. And she came over and was like in my face and like was going to go touch my arm. And I slid at least 6 feet away from her and yelled at her, "Get away from me." I yelled it. I'm sure they think I'm a crazy person. I don't care. She gave me the bus time. She didn't give me bus number, so I didn't even know what bus was supposed to pick my kid up or drop him off. And the drop-off bus was late 15 minutes, and I called the bus barn, and they didn't even have him on a roster with a bus number. So I thought my kid was just gone. That was fucking cool on the first day. Anyways, this school, I swear to God, I'm suing their insurance, and I'm suing their maintenance man. Maybe I should just sue the superintendent, too, and the principal. Because they're still not following his IEP correctly. Anyways, she told me, talked to me like I was ridiculous, told me that it was in an email, and that you can distant learn. And she knows that my son has special needs. She called DCS on me. Made that false call. I was in their office. Me and her have had to sit down quite a few times. She knows who the fuck we are. She just acted like she didn't know who the fuck I was. Got the stuff. I went home and I cried Monday night and had panic attacks all night. I cried all day Tuesday. And Monday we had talked. I had talked Monday morning to my therapist, and the orientation was that night. I didn't get a chance to talk. She knew my stance on the vaccine. I'm pro. You do what's best for you. Let me do what's best for me and my family. And my disease is still very, very new to me. It's been less than a year that I was diagnosed, and I didn't know. I didn't have enough people to find out. But there's no studies on it, on fibromyalgia and the vaccine, or even Bell's palsy and the vaccine. So before my therapy session on Wednesday, I went to CVS and I got Moderna. I wanted Pfizer, but after hearing some other things, I'm kind of glad I did go with Moderna. Not like I had a choice. CVS is like, get it here, or you can drive to Chesterton. I was like, my gas tank says that I'm not able to drive to Chesterton, so here we are. Then they were giving me grief about my allergies to medication. And then the lady, I got in the room, she put my little card on the table, and she's like, what arm do you want it in? I'm like, I don't even give a shit. And I said it just like that. And she's like, okay. And got me in my left arm and said, have a good day. And she was walking out. And I was like, do I take this? Is this my card? And she's like, yeah. They didn't have me wait like 10 or 15 minutes. I didn't even know you were supposed to until after I had a bad reaction the first day. A really bad reaction. I had that reaction. I live across the street. So by the time I got home, I started having that reaction. So yeah, they didn't even tell me to sit here and wait to be observed. None of that shit. So I found out the third day of school that the desks are in clusters. They're in clusters of 3. And the only time these kids social distance is when they are in line to go somewhere. Most of them aren't wearing masks because it's optional. Even though this is elementary school. And none of them are eligible to get the vaccine. None of them. Not one child in there is old enough to get the vaccine. It goes through, 5th grade? None of them. My son's in 5th grade, and he's been held back 1 year, so he's already a year older, and he's 11. He can't get the vaccine. These kids cannot be fucking vaccinated. No masks. So then this last Sunday, the superintendent sends an email. The superintendent of all of Valpo school system to every parent that if you are fully vaccinated and asymptomatic, you cannot pass COVID on, and you do not need to quarantine. So send your kids to school. The ones that have been vaccinated And the parents, if they've now they're thinking if they've been vaccinated and they're asymptomatic, they don't have to quarantine, which means they can send their kids to school. Elementary, middle, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the kid's been vaccinated or not. So you don't need to quarantine. And masks are still optional. Nicholas told me that the bus that he gets on for the morning, you have to have a mask. But the bus that comes home, there's no masks. So I guess that's the bus driver's decision, which, kudos. I really do like his morning bus driver. I really like her a lot. So, and she's masked up. So I didn't feel like I had much of a choice because here's the deal. I have 3 ferrets, and ferrets were what were being tested at the beginning of COVID to figure out this fucking disease because their bodies replicate the disease perfectly. And a lot of ferrets were killed trying to figure COVID out. So you're welcome for that vaccine. Ferrets went, and a lot of ferrets died for that. Now I got 3 babies right here. Nick brings that shit home. My fucking babies are going to get it. All 3 of them. I'm going to get it. My kid's going to get it. And how the hell am I going to take care of 3 ferrets and a sick kid and be on a ventilator? And yes, I know. You can catch COVID with a vaccine. The point of the vaccine, it's not to make you bulletproof. It is to lessen the severity of it. And hopefully you don't have to be on a ventilator. Hopefully you don't have to be in a hospital. That's the goal. Now, I have 2 diseases that it might not matter. That might not even fucking matter. The COVID might mess with my diseases so bad that the vaccine might not even matter. We don't know. But I felt like I was not given much of a fucking choice. Because who the fuck is gonna come take care of me? My mother? She can't. Because she's always got my nephew. She can't take COVID back to her house. My sister's always there, and my nephew down near lives there. She can't come here and take care of anybody. And what happens if I'm on a ventilator, and my son's on a ventilator, and he dies on a ventilator, and I come out and come off a ventilator, and I was out for all of that? I will burn the earth down. What fucking choice did I have? Do I regret it? Not yet. I've had a really, really hard time. I tried to sleep last night, and I'm exhausted. And I just, my eyes are swollen. I've cried so much the last week, and my teeth hurt. They're hurting right now. Just the tops on right here, all of the bottoms. Just nerve pain in your teeth is I feel like all my teeth are just going to fall out at any minute. It just feels like they're just going to crumble and fall out. Who's protecting our children? Because I'm trying to protect mine. But how do I protect him from everybody in Valpo? I don't have a choice. My mom's pissed at me. I could see the look of disappointment in her face because she's like, what if you were paralyzed? I try so hard, and I've tried so hard most of my life to try to make my mom proud of me, and the look of disappointment in her eyes broke my heart yesterday, and I was just like, Mom, what was I gonna do? You can't take care of us. And she didn't say anything. That was probably the worst. She didn't even yell at me. She just was like, just that look of like, what did you do, Erica? What did you do? I don't know. We'll find out. It's just been, I have been overly emotional for the last 2 weeks. Because ever since that orientation. But that's what's been going on. I haven't been on social media as much. I haven't been talking to a lot of people. I did just kind of shut my active status off yesterday at some point when I put Nick to bed, and I wasn't able to sleep much, but all I did was just scroll TikTok and I didn't talk to anybody. I had to disconnect because I am just beat emotionally, and it's been a lot, and I'm trying not to be too stressed because that can relapse my Bell's palsy too, so I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. So just taking it one day at a time. I'm slowly getting better. I'm slowly feeling better, but I'm still really, really, really under the weather. And it's been 15 minutes, so I'm gonna end this. But that's just what's been going on.